Good afternoon. I'm going to call to attention this meeting of the City of Laredo Fine Arts and Cultural Commission. Today of March 21st, 2023. Please will stand now for the Pledge of Allegiance. The flag behind us. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we have roll call, please?
Roll call.
Yes.
Maritza Tapiza. Present. Gail Aker Rodriguez. Gail Rodriguez.
Is she muted? Okay.
And she's calling me too.
A word that didn't exist 4 years ago, right? Let's say the phrase. Okay, there she goes.
Dr. Marta Villarreal.
Hello.
We can hear you, Gail. Melissa Miche.
I'm here.
Armando Lopez.
Present.
City
Can you all
staff.
hear?
No, it's good. And I guess you notice Angie's not here, but Sara is helping
I
out.
thought I caught the different you today. Thank you. All right, moving on to Roman numeral 4. Are there any citizens' comments? Anyone signed up for citizens' comments?
For an item.
They're here for an item. Okay.
Hello.
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Is that you?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. You have before you the minutes of the last meeting. If everybody's had a chance to review them, I'll entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved.
The only thing.
Hello.
My name is misspelled, but that's minor.
Okay, no, we'll fix it.
Yeah, on, under communications announcements and under the Lafayette Bridge.
Okay, with those corrections noted, is there a second to Melissa's motion?
Second.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Okay, minutes carried. Moving on to Roman numeral 6, updates on current art projects. The first one we have is the Lafayette, well, is this order that's here? Okay?
Yes,
Okay.
that's fine.
Lafayette Bridge Painting and Lighting Public Art Project.
And you do have in your packet the design of the pillars.
Look at that. Nice.
And I do have an update as of Monday. The timeline has moved down a bit, and their travel plans have been delayed. All because the paint is still not here. They're expecting it maybe by next week. And some of the supplies are still arriving.
Okay, is there any other information?
Well, the traffic department has already started closing some of the roadways, and the pressure washing is ongoing to have it clean for the artists.
All right. Thank you. Is there anything else on that?
That's it.
Moving on now to the Tears Murals Project. Is there an update on that?
Yes, the RFP has been closed. They did receive 9 applications. The selection committee is scheduled to meet on Monday to open the submissions and to review them. And they will give a recommendation to the TERS board for their April meeting.
Any additional comments? All right.
Are we gonna, I guess I do, sorry.
Yes.
Are we gonna be a part of that? Are we
Yes,
gonna-
you should have received a meeting invitation.
I think I did.
There was 3 people that were selected. Let me look at, I'm
No, the
sorry.
subcommittee.
Subcommittee.
I thought you were on it.
Yes.
I didn't-
Yes, you should have received, you should have
It
received.
was from that meeting that I wasn't
Right,
present, right?
yes.
Okay,
But
alright.
then, she does have your email, and she
Okay.
sent out an email, a meeting invite.
Okay, I'll go back to it.
Direct, yeah, it's
Okay.
from Miriam Castillo, and it just came out yesterday or this morning, and it's
Oh,
from
then I
Monday.
didn't get it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll reach out.
Director@daphneart.com.
Okay. Moving on to Roman numeral number 7, items for discussion possible action. A is the utility box art program.
And I'll defer to you, Marita, to let them know.
I want to thank you for making
The
all the
presentation.
efforts that you and Melissa had to gather all that information.
It was fun putting it together. Yeah, so on Monday at the city council meeting, Gail and I presented on the utility box art project. Basically what I did for the presentation, I'll just say this, is I took information from old agendas and some notes and I put it together. So it wasn't like a fully inclusive presentation for a call for action. So city council actually did not vote on anything. But they did ask some questions regarding the project, and what ultimately what we ended up saying is we'll need to come back to have a more comprehensive project proposal so there can be an action taken. But I think it went really well. We had, it seemed like it got very positive, we got very positive feedback. It seems like everybody was excited. No one like made a comment like that made us feel like this wasn't gonna happen. I think everyone was excited about it. So we just have to figure out when we can do that to go back and provide a better proposal for them to vote on.
What was lacking?
So they had questions specifically about, like we, in the proposal or in the presentation, I said $3,000 per artist. I kind of made that up because in the notes that we had, it said starting at 2,500. And then, or I don't know, like just the stuff that I reviewed. And then when I was talking to Gail and Melissa, Gail said, let's just say 3,000 and see what they say. But one of the questions that came up, and of course I'll let Gail add if she wants to, is what does that $3,000 include? Because these are mini murals. The artist will probably have to use special paint to get these done. So we still have some research to do as far as like what to include in that budget and how much is gonna stay with the artist, how much is gonna go towards materials. And I think there was and also, sorry, there's 4 vacancies here. So not all the districts are represented. And that was brought up to city council, including the mayor. So we recommended that they please appoint someone soon, so all districts are represented. And yeah, some of the not board members, some of the city council, or I think it was Albert Torres, he said that he would like to see some of these boxes like out on the 20. But then Mr. Peña from traffic clarified that we cannot have any on those roads.
On text
roads. So we just have to have a more, like a better presentation for next time. And hopefully it'll be soon, so that project can start to move
And
forward.
I think we did get clarification that the art funds can be used for that.
Oh, yes, and so there was some confusion, at least going into it, because apparently what I was told is that, or Gail mentioned that she thought that the funds were coming from the city council members, but this is city property, the utility boxes, so we can tap into the 2% funds.
We have a lot of money there to use.
Yeah.
A lot of money, $800,000.
And did we get to talk about how this was phase 1 and that we're hoping to move this and expand it to throughout the districts?
Yes, I did mention that.
Great. Thank you.
So I guess next step is for us to see if they appoint people and then have a meeting and bring them up to speed. So I guess the moment that we get that information, that's added to an agenda item for the time we have a more forward board.
I have another question. Is when I had spoken with my my councilwoman, District 3, Melissa Sierra, she had talked about possibly making a recommendation that the commission would be able to oversee this project rather than, possibly another department or something like that. Was any of that brought up in the discussion? So I imagine in our presentation that would be something that we would put. When can we make another follow-up presentation?
Well, I guess we need to get some members.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, when these guys come.
Yeah, because that's what's lacking, right? Input from the other districts.
Have they been notified that there are
Oh,
vacancies?
yes.
They
Yeah,
have.
she just
We
did
brought
it.
it up at city,
She
Right, but I
City
mean, like an officially,
No, as
instead of
soon
like
as
when
it
they're,
becomes vacant,
they're notified.
and on my Friday packet, I do it once a month, I put that you have those vacancies in there.
Is there anything we can do to help to fill those?
Gail even told them, if you all need suggestions,
yeah.
let us know, we can help you find, but nobody said anything. I don't know, I think it just depends on the council members, some of them wanted to be someone from their district.
What are the names of the council, the districts and the names of the council members? Do you
Mayor.
know what we have?
And, yeah, the
The
mayor.
vacancies?
Yes.
Yes.
Gutierrez, oh, you
The
have.
mayor,
Yes.
So mayor,
Mr. Rangel, Mr. Gutierrez, and Ms. Perez.
So four.
thank you.
Mr. Sheriff, I don't know if I could add something.
Sure.
Because our office is next to the outlets. The outlets already did 2 or 3
Mhm.
of those utility boxes. I don't know, you guys wanna reach out to them? See what kind of materials they use, how much it was, how much they paid the artist?
That's right.
Why reinvent the wheel? They already did something similar. So, right in front of the, in Zaragoza, where they used to have, it was a burger place. I think they have two
Yeah,
utility
even
boxes.
Sandra Gonzalez.
They're pretty
one.
big, yeah.
Yeah.
Will you introduce yourself for the record so that we can?
Oh, sorry, I'm Joel Vasquez, I'm the Assistant Director for the Laredo Convention and Visitors Bureau. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, let's move on then. The next item for discussion is Caminarte, and I see we have representatives here. Is somebody making a presentation or?
No, you had asked to have somebody from CVB here to let you know what had been done in the past.
Oh, okay,
Mhm.
all right.
Can we invite our other
Yes.
guests?
Oh, yes, they're free.
Please join us at the table.
And,
Yeah, if you were.
Yeah, and
We're the back. Sorry.
I think, after our, if I could just, after our last conversation or meeting, when we talked about Laredo Cultural District and what they had been doing to further Caminarte and the grassroots effort, and I know there was, consensus among those of us here that Caminarte, because of their efforts, has gotten to a point now where, we are a very important and integral part of the downtown economy. We stimulate that economy on a monthly basis. And I know that we are well, I say we because I also am on the board over here, but these are the people that actually made Caminarte happen and what it is today. So they've grown from 35 participants monthly to 300. This is the first incarnation of our art walk that has been consistently in operation for, what is it now?
Well, so I think we calculated that in August, Talisa Milano, for the record, president of the Laredo Cultural District, but basically the Caminarte was 35, and I think in August of this year will be 3 years strong. So I know several venues, including Casa Ortiz, which is the home for the Cultural District, as well as Laredo Center for the Arts, have been continually open each and every month for these 3 years, and it's shown because, like I said, 35. Last month, Jorge helped spearhead a tortilla seminar that kind of goes back to some of the first things the CDB had years ago when Caminarte was first brought by the Texas Historical Commission. And we gave away 450 handmade tortillas. So the numbers just grow and people show up, and it's always new people, visitors. So we really just want to kind of come and show that after 3 years we see significant increase, and just we would love more ideas and support to move it forward. I know Marisa I saw on the agenda about trolley. We have a lot of older members. It's difficult to maneuver through the streets. That would help move things. And as it's kind of grown and we get outlying people that kind of jump on and off, we want to be able to get people to those places. But just wayfinding, lights, music in the park, there's so many other things. I'll kind of pass the buck over here to other people because they're full of brilliant ideas too.
Well, I think the first question that we had, the one that we really wanted to explore, was the transportation. And what, I think that's why we asked people to come because that's probably the biggest part in terms of circulation, is to make sure that people just don't camp out at one place.
Yeah.
But it's so hot downtown sometimes. And so I don't know if there's anything, insight you could give this group with regards to getting that on board and seeing how to do that.
And or a central parking lot maybe, so there's a place for people to start, or a couple places, but we
Yeah,
kind
the-
of unify things.
So in regards to the trolley, we, as a city and El Metro as part of the city, based on their fundings, how they get their federal funds, you can't use it for local use in a sense if it's an event, if it's a conference or a meeting or like this event itself, Caminate, we won't be able to use that because of the way that they're very restricted on how they allocate their monies. So, because in the past we tried to use it. Many years ago, there was like a little thin line that we were allowed to, and the city was able to use them. But that's been probably more than 8-9 years, maybe even 10 years.
What if it starts at La Posada? I mean, that everybody's in there, supposed to be from a hotel.
If
And if it I mean, again, it doesn't mean that that's the
Yeah.
only people who can ride it, but if it starts there, if that might be that little thin line that.
So with the trolley itself, even if it starts from a hotel, it wouldn't even work. Like it has to. They already because of their funding, they have very specific routes. So one of the biggest things is that the bus would have to literally go through all that route, and it's impossible to go through. You know, the Casa Ortiz and the Center for the Arts. It doesn't go through that area because mostly it takes people from where their office, where their location, they're all the way to North Laredo, South Laredo, East and West. So that was the issue why we wouldn't, the El Metro wouldn't be, at least that, we wouldn't be able to use that.
I have a question. Is there ever a scenario where the Convention and Visitors Bureau for Laredo would be open to developing a type of transportation that would cater to tourism in downtown where this would fall under? I mean, would that be something that we could maybe look at working with you all on?
So,
Any bikes, I mean, golf
Yeah,
carts, we're
anything.
looking for
Yeah.
creative
Or
solutions.
especially for
to-
Caminarte, renting a bus for that night only.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I was gonna say, is
Yeah,
because it's
so
hard for
the-
rent.
yeah, so there's, with the Metro you won't be able to rent it, but there's like Cougar Bus Line, there's Tornado, we've actually even gone to some companies in San Antonio. With the rental of the buses, one, it is about $1,500. So if it is a little expensive. So to use it for an hour, 2 or 3 hours, I don't know how long is your event.
3 hours.
3 hours, yeah. So it's $1,500, and the idea is that if it comes through hotel motel funds, which is the hot tax funds, literally everybody, majority of the people have to be visitors from out of town. If it's locals, then we can't really use our monies because our monies are allocated for out of town. Yes, once they come here, we could help and move them, but it has to be majority based on the hot funds. It has
So
to be.
could a nonprofit, sorry to interrupt,
Yes.
could a nonprofit, if they can prove or substantiate that it's using, that out-of-town people are using it, is it something that a nonprofit could use to the third-party funding, whether it be through the hotel, motel, or whatever third-party
You can,
mechanism they use?
that would be a venue that we would recommend. The best thing is going to third-party funding. I believe they already did their applications for this
I
year.
think it's just out, no?
Or they just went
It
out.
just went out, I think it's due
Yeah.
June, I think it's due June.
Yeah,
first
so
of
that would be a best venue. I do recommend if you guys, because when we managed it, the reason why we stopped and we actually handed that project was because it was literally all locals. We did face painting, we got paletas, and we would give out paletas, and we did all that. We worked partnered out with Center for the Arts, with La Posada. I was telling Maria that there was a t-shirt apparel that would print shirts and all that stuff. They would even actually give free shirts. Because we had a location, once they went to all the locations, we had Gallery 201 that would, with Gail, that would participate. So we had a few people, the outlets at one point we had them. And but when it became too local, our funds are very restricted, that we could help support to a certain extent local events to get tourism into it, so we could help with the promotion.
Well,
through-
I do want to mention something. Some of the events that I've been involved recently in Casa Ortiz with Laredo Cultural District,
Mhm.
I've counted, and I think in one we had a jazz concert. We had more than 300 people, and about more than 100 came from across
From Laredo.
just to that event.
Okay.
Last Caminarte, I hosted a large group of artists that came from Nuevo Laredo to do the Caminarte tour. And in many of our events here at Casa Ortiz, visitors come specifically from Nuevo Laredo in the 100 or so to visit. I believe also exploring the advertisement to be a little bit more binational for that would attract, because you wouldn't believe the art community that's in Nuevo Laredo. It's huge, and just with that we could maybe justify the tourism. Caminarte could be a tourism stop, you know, for.
And I want to go back to why the cultural district was started too, and brought this back up because it was such a successful program like you were talking about.
Yeah.
But if we as locals don't embrace the things that we have and promote them, how do we expect out of town people not to? I mean, that's how things get started. And we were talking about Terralino, another Marfa. I mean, there's so many places. It doesn't take much. So we're just trying to garnish more ideas and things to be able to help move this forward now that we've kind of got some momentum behind us. But I agree, we've got so much traffic from El Laredo on because people are not going out at night as much over there. We're seeing a lot of that kind of influx come into here.
Yeah, I think, and that goes with like the center. Anytime that you get third-party funding, there has to be a mechanism, and even for all the nonprofit organizations that request third-party, because there's third-party funding for hot funds and then general funds. So depending, and they're both very different how they score them. But if it has to do with third-party funding, then you have to submit a report saying people are staying at an XY hotel, how many people are staying. Because through our funds are very restrict on how we use them. Yes, they're coming from El Laredo, but they're not staying at a hotel. They're coming just across the border. They're just crossing. If they're coming, let's say from Embassy, from La Posada, True Hotel, Coya by Marriott, those that so I would suggest to do like a sign-in sheet. If there's a way that people could register, and not only it will help you guys as well as an organization to say, look, this is how much we've outgrown it, because the Center for the Arts and other organizations have to submit reports to the city, part of the application, and that's how you get qualified for the funds. So I would suggest, if you have those things.
I think that the ambition on this is obviously a vehicle going through there.
Yeah.
But I think one of the things that we can look at a little bit is, some of the smaller schools. I think, from what I've heard, that some of the reason that people don't get to circulate is because once it gets dark down there, it's dark. So
especially if you're not familiar with downtown and you're not used to being around downtown.
And downtown has a stigma, has a stigma that needs to be destroyed, eliminated, because it's scary, it's dark, it smells, and it doesn't.
But I don't think that this is your, but from the city, it really behooves the city to get better, well lit down there, because especially on like some of the bar area too. And right next to, it's dark out there, and people they're just afraid of that stuff. So, I think that's something that the city can help us with, because I don't know what the density is or whether there's a formula for how many light poles, but there's some areas there that are really dark, and it gets a little scary to, again, if you're walking by yourself or you're a little older or something.
I would also. But one of the things I think is important also, because we're talking about different things, is that Caminarte has been able to bring people that never come downtown for whatever reason, just to be able to partake. And that in itself, many of the people that come in to see Casa Ortiz, or to see Laredo Center for the Arts, or to see Galeria 201, or the different coffee shops in town that display art at that time, are actually consuming into the areas of downtown. So I think that as far as promoting downtown as a place that you can actually be, that you can have a good time in a clean way and stuff like that, I think it's something that I believe the city that should be able to take attention to that, because I know that it costs money, and I know everything is a difficult thing to get along most of all when you start looking at the red tapes that all of the cities and all the institutions have. But I think that being able to provide our citizenry with a chance to be able to come and spend, a Friday openly, knowing people, meeting people. When they come to Casa Ortiz, most of the people have never seen Casa Ortiz, and they come in just for the fact of the curiosity of seeing it. But once they come in, they enjoy it, and they come back, and all of the people that we get, are gonna come to Casa Ortiz, but they're gonna come to the Laredo Center for the Arts. And this is part of the culture that we want to bring about into the city, because otherwise it's dead, and it has been dead for a long period of time.
Have you all reached out to the diocese about parking in San Agustin? Because, you know,
There's been some
that little strip,
conversation,
that
there's
little
been
strip of-
conversations, but
Mhm.
even, there's been conversations, but the large parking lot is even blocked off at a certain time, so
Okay.
that's been, but I just want.
It would only be Friday evening.
Well, and remember, this is a family, it's a free event, so everybody hosts food,
But,
drink, and
okay,
everything for
so,
free as well as.
Back in the day, when Liling owned the Royal Theater, and it's actually an opera house.
Yes.
We performed there, the choir performed there, and the city let everybody park at the bus station, free of charge. They opened it up to anybody who wanted to come, so we packed the house because people felt like I have a place to park. So, since we've been talking about a trolley, what if they open the parking lot there? There's nobody there at night. It's empty. And we have a trolley that picks up anybody who parks there and brings them around to Caminarte. These are things that we could probably do, and there's free parking then for anybody who wants to feel their car is safe, it's in a parking space, many floors. That probably would work.
No, but they're saying is that trolley cannot be used,
Yeah.
that's what they're saying.
We used it before.
Yeah, I've seen many years ago, yeah, not.
The thing is that, what I get here is that justifying that they're coming, but if we don't build it, they won't come. So it's a circle, you know? So how are we gonna build it if we don't get the support because they're not coming? Then how are they gonna come if we don't get the support to build it? And so it's a little tricky situation.
Well, and then the other answer that I hear from other people is like, well, San Antonio, yeah, but San Antonio, everybody walks.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, so we gotta kind of train our people to walk too. Like, I mean, it's really only 3 blocks from the Center for the Arts.
We have to remember too, we have a lot of families, we've
Yeah,
had
no, I understand that.
strollers, elderly people, and there are some streets that are not as well adapted,
Right.
don't have the ADA ramps, and there's some ways we're never gonna be able to fix that. We've done the parking study downtown, we know the problems with all that, and it's never gonna be 100%. We're just trying to provide ideas for people to explore, to see how
I think
we
it
can
would be
do it.
attractive to say, we're going downtown, we're gonna get on the trolley, we're gonna be
Yes.
bussed around, and you know, it's a fun experience, and
Well, and as well as
Yeah.
linking to Laredo College, now we're gonna have the Children's Museum over there, the art gallery could be open over there, so we're just
Casa
trying to
Daphne
expand
is all the
ideas
way
and-
over there.
and
Yes.
get over that way, and if we don't have a way and a means to make it easy for people to do it as a
Right.
group.
And talking about San Antonio, I have been to San Antonio several times to the shows that they have. They used to have the main street that, can't remember the name of it, that used to be a first Friday of the month also. But the thing was that the city would block the street.
Yeah.
Nobody could pass, and you're talking about it went all the way, I can't remember the names, all the way to the Blue Star on that street, whatever the name of that street is.
South Alamo or South
South
Alamo?
Alamo.
Yes, South Alamo.
So it was a matter of about 5 blocks, and there was police officers in there, and they were looking, that there was safety and stuff like that, and the cars could not cross.
And the city is doing that for
And
its
the
streets.
Yeah,
The city does.
I think the problem there is that it was right by the culture, it's way to Nuevo Laredo, so, I mean,
That street is
yeah.
not.
There's also, well, there are the venues downtown that has a density, that is Laredo Center for the Arts, Casa Ortiz, Galeria 201. But then there's also some places on San Bernardo that are difficult to get to, that also participate, and also Casa Daphne is a little bit out of
Yeah.
the way that.
And Casa Arte, or Frontera, so we're really expanding that all the time.
Yeah.
We're trying to get to the college, which actually embraces all
And
three
is it really
districts.
that expensive? Because it could be a 15-passenger little bus that is just going round and round and round.
Yeah,
you know?
there's no buses, the buses, because when we host conferences and all that, it's the only companies, the 2 local companies that we have is Cougar and Tornado. The last time that we bid it, and it was 2 years ago, because of one of the things that we did away, and the other thing was not all those companies have all the insurances with risk management. So we had to, this past time we exhausted the appeal, and we haven't been able to go back because they didn't have all the insurances the risk management required. But there's no small buses that, you know.
Like a Metro, the lift, those.
Well, those is because you can't rent those. It's not you.
But are any of them out of service, out of a route late at night on a Friday? Like, I don't think all of them run 24/7 a day. Is there? I mean, we're just
Yeah.
looking for potential. I
Well,
Yeah, yeah.
instead of looking at what we have that doesn't work,
Mhm.
is there something that we can do? Like, what could we do? Can we, like you mentioned, all those hotels and the bus route, can we advertise on those buses that coming out this the first of the month and have that going around town, or having that go by these hotels?
Are
and
there
spreading
hotels that
out?
have buses that we could promote it?
They
and,
have some
you
town
know?
shuttles, and they drop off the people at La Posada and the airport. The three locations where they drop off is they're La Posada, because that's if they have people that are coming to Mexico, that's their drop off location, airport, and the mall in Norte. So
You know, and the other thing might be just for those Fridays to rent a couple of vans.
Yeah, sure.
I would say be a little bit creative and think outside the box here. You already have the trolleys that you have, and I understand that you've used them with it as far as here's our council lady, we should be talking to her about this.
Yes.
But I think it's really, really important. We had it in the past.
Yeah.
The past, you know, history repeats itself, and I think that we should bring it back, and instead of saying, no, we can't, we can. We can do it some way or another. As far as the funds, downtown Laredo, we're the #1 inland port in the whole United States.
Yeah.
You know, everybody looks to downtown. Why are we gonna stop and say, we can't do this because of this and that? We'll find a way. We have to find a way. And it was great. She was talking about the Opera Center, the Royal Theater. It was absolutely fabulous.
Yeah.
If we don't do these things, then of course they'll all be boarded up and everything will go to pits. But as of right now, we have people coming into our downtown Laredo. We developed the Outlet Mall. That was our anchor for our downtown.
Yeah.
Now, the businesses in the downtown area, I'm not saying that they've diminished to a point that they're all leaving, but a lot of them have. We have, I don't know, 142 empty buildings now in the downtown area. So there's a transformation now. It's being rebranded. Sort of like what happened in San Antonio with, I mentioned this before, with Federal Realty Investment Trust. When they started developing Houston Street right off of St. Mary's, that was the new trend. This is what's gonna happen here in Laredo. We can't say we can't. We can. We just have to figure out a way to do it. And there has to be a way.
Can we?
Well, I would say that, when people say that, and I'm just kindly saying it, yeah, but put it down in black. I mean, you just, the speech is easy, but, you know, yeah, get the regulations and then see if you all can
Sure,
find
definitely.
the between the lines there, because, I mean, we don't mean to lecture him.
No, not at all, not at all.
But I tell you,
I-
the we can was, you know, those are speeches, but, you know, and you know, because all of you working, there's just so many things you can do with an old building, you
And,
know.
and for us, history is one of our core elements, what we promote. So we
Sure.
work a lot with Webb County Heritage Foundation,
Mm-hmm.
with board. So history for us is really important. So it's not like we're not promoting the history, we're not promoting downtown.
Right.
We're housing downtown. It's just that when it comes into the trolley, you know, it's El Metro that has regulations because the city cannot tap in, you know, because we did away with that, you know, and it's been, like I said, more than 10 years, we haven't been able to do that. And there's the local companies that I have here, like I said, they don't have a 15-passenger van, or they don't have that. They don't, it's just a 52 or 55 passenger bus, and the times that we have contracted those was, you know, $1,500.
So basically what we're saying that if we want to get the trolley, we don't talk to the city, what we talk is to the
state?
to the
No,
bus, to the service, to the
Metro.
metro.
It's a metro, but I don't know if the metro could, I don't know, because we never explored that, because I don't know if the metro could lease it to somebody else or rent it out, sub-rent it, I don't know. That would be.
And maybe that's what he says. That's the
Yeah.
stuff we need to
Yeah.
find out.
I don't know,
Sure.
because when we were using it for conferences, they just told us because of our funding, our federal funding, we can't use it no more. It has to be in a route that we already take people. We can't change the
Deviate.
route. Deviate, exactly.
And we can't make a special Caminarte route that's just used every first
So
Friday or every
here's an
second
idea.
Saturday.
What if the Fine Arts and Culture Commission proposes an art bus as a public art project?
Yes.
That's good.
We
And
got-
the
we got
city
how much
buys
money in
it,
there?
they own it.
Millions.
How much
We
do we have?
paint
So
it.
let's buy one,
Yeah.
right? Can we buy one
I
and
mean,
and just
we
use
can
it for the
propose
bus?
it as a public
I
art
mean, it's not
project.
millions of dollars, right? It's something
But
that's
it does two
doable.
things, it advertises, it transports.
I mean,
Right.
let's go find something on the market
And it
and
would
then,
belong to
and
the
then
city.
the organization, I mean, you know.
It's like when we wanted an Arts and Culture Commission, and we said, this is what I want it to be under the city, and here we are.
Yeah.
So we want an arts bus that the city owns, that can do other things.
That we all have to get in line for, and we'll be in, you know,
But-
first in line for First Friday.
First Friday,
Yeah.
second
First Friday.
Saturday.
You'll
If
have
everybody
all
gets in line
organizations
for it,
that
Yeah,
need to
all
then,
your
justify
then everybody
it.
gets to use it.
Yes.
And I think that's a great idea.
We can
But I
propose
think
it.
one of the other things to go back to why we wanted you guys here is not to necessarily
help
do
us.
this, but what can you do to help to
So
promote
we could-
Caminarte?
yeah,
What,
so-
what can, what
So
can, how can
we could help promote the event. We could, if you guys have flyers, we could go, we do monthly deliveries to hotels.
Mm-hmm.
We have social media, we have our website, we could, right now we were finishing our visitor guide, but there's things that we could help add into it. I know
What
I know-
happens to people getting off airplanes? Is there a way to reach those folks?
Well, we're gonna have a gift shop that we're gonna open up by next month, hopefully next one, we're gonna open up a gift shop there at the airport. So anybody comes in, if you have flyers, like kinda like what she just, Marisa just, presented, if you have something that it's a rack card that you design, and it says the first Friday of every month, this is the start location, whatever, we could distribute that to hotels, we could send out to, how do you call it, to the airport that we're gonna have now a gift shop there that we're gonna be able to sell stuff, Laredo stuff.
Does any of
would
the
you be able to help, excuse me,
Yeah.
would you be able to help administratively develop a map? We're a group of volunteers, now I'm talking
And a
about
brand.
cultural,
So-
mission, like a map that your office could help us.
So we have
develop?
already maps.
Uh-huh.
We
I've
already
seen the
have,
copy,
yeah,
yeah.
we have different maps, so we have a mural map, we
Right,
have
I've
a
seen.
coffee map. We are, those are the two have, and then we have a standard map, which doesn't have all the main streets, but it has the main ones. In downtown and all of the attractions where everybody goes, all the museums, the arena, the stadium, the golf course. And then we have a interactive map that we have there. We would have to see, we do have a digital that I think it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Obviously, we would have to check if it's part of the scope of our new agency that they could design a map.
Like an
But-
arts and culture map.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes,
so that's
yeah,
right,
yeah. Because we already, like I said, we do have already some.
Yeah.
Well, the
So-
cultural district already, they have a map.
Okay, do you have it
We have a
digital?
defined area as recognized by
Right,
the
that's
state
what
of
I'm saying.
Texas.
And so all of that.
But it's a huge map because it's all of Laredo College, it's all of the
Yeah.
95
Yeah.
blocks of downtown.
Yeah,
it's
it
the
can be like a
blocks of-
ZUP map and then the
But
map.
I, but I think what I've heard is that the support we need is, again, because these are all volunteers, the cultural district doesn't have any paid
Yeah.
employees. So that if we could get some support in
Mhm.
developing that map on a monthly basis for coming out, that we've started second Saturdays.
Maybe get a few
and getting that
ads
promoted.
somewhere, you know, advertisement.
From our end, we don't do the ads because it's, everything that we do, it's like, it doesn't have any ads in our stuff. We did away with that. Now, if you guys wanna do that and you wanna use it as a fundraiser, then I would suggest go to a print shop and then sell ads, because we used to do that like with our visitor guide. Our visitor guide, the reason why we stopped is because it became too ad heavy. So when you're a visitor and you're watching it, I'll go to here to, I don't know,
But what I'm
Johnny.
saying is CBB promotes things to do in Laredo.
Yes.
It could be promoting Caminarte as a thing to do in Laredo.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
No, we could promote that.
Yes.
I just said that. We use it on our social medias. If you guys have brochures, flyers, whatever you guys wanna use, we could distribute out to the hotels, we could distribute out in our gift shops. We could, if people have, request information of arts, because we get people that call in, we could send that information through mail. We do mail outs, we do all that stuff. So we could help promote it. We just need the information.
You need to give the copy. then.
Yeah, we need the information. Now, in the long run, we could probably work and see what maps we have and how we could integrate. We could probably, it might be that it's easier, we do a QR code. If you already have something with a QR code, they scan it and it has all the information. Like, those are the things that we could work with you guys. We just need to know, what exactly you guys have in mind, how can we work together and partner and because at the end of the day, we want more people to come in.
We all want the
That's-
same
We all
thing.
want that.
Right, we all
So
want
we,
And we need to
And,
work.
yeah,
Yeah.
and thinking outside the box, does any of the colleges have a tourism degree or a program or anything like that? Because to me, if you don't have a vehicle, you get a young person and you say 2 or 3, getting community service. Okay, I'm taking a group right now from the Center for the Arts to Gallery 201. We'll be there 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then that same person shepherds them to the next one. But it's a young person that, or younger persons. And they're getting credit and they're doing whatever, and then, okay, there's no bus, but they're walking you over there, they're leading you, just like tour guides.
Right.
We should need tour guides, because everybody gets camped in their place.
City ambassadors.
Yeah, but their charge would be to do the circulation.
Right.
And they would say 30 minutes, okay, 30 minutes, and then we're moving over here 30 minutes or whatever, or we're moving every 30 minutes.
I
You know?
wonder if seniors, Armando, with DMT,
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention, and Jorge Santana, I'm the director of the Historical Commission, of the Webb County Historical Commission. We have done the tours starting from Casa Ortiz it's a big tour because it goes to the San Agustin, then the business district, then we go all the way to St. Peter's walking.
Yeah.
It takes about 2 hours, and we walk.
On Halloween, we had a
And-
line of 50 people, we couldn't even accommodate.
We had, like, I think 200 people that got the tour on Halloween, and we a bunch of tours. But anyways, so what I believe is that the perception of Laredo, the seed of changing the perception of what the city is, and it's not. It has to start from Laredoans, which have a very bad perception of downtown. Breaking that, I'm sure it's going to break barriers into tourism that might come. But if you ask a Laredoan, have you been downtown, and they say no. Oh, I
There's
never
no
go
place
over
to
there.
park.
Yeah, oh, it smells, or it's this, or it's that, and it's not, So when people come to the tours, they're amazed that they didn't know it, that Laredo existed.
Yeah.
So I believe, yes, tourism is important, but also our own tourism
Yeah.
of the people that live here in Laredo to consume
Yeah.
what's already here.
Yeah.
And that's very important and vital for the preservation of the city and for the improvement of downtown. If you don't have Laredoans going to downtown, tourism is never going to come.
Well, that's why I think you have young people doing this. Because, the discussion I was here is, well, there's so much old blood out there, because all the old people have fond memories of downtown. I know that. He's young, but he's
Oh,
not that young. There's a lot of young, we gotta get the teenagers and those
38
people need to get downtown. And if you do it like this with these kids that are tour guides,
Right.
and, and then pretty soon their friends are coming and stuff like that. But, because, to me, it's buy a van, rent a van, that's easy. Nobody wants to do spending of the money, well, let's raise money for that, but if that's like the thing that's holding anything back, well, I'm sure there's a van out there that we
Could be
could
a van,
rent
I mean,
one
it's-
for 12 Fridays? That's not a lot of money. I mean, that's really not a lot of money.
Would that be some sort of a partnership we might be able to explore with CBB?
we would have to look into it.
Yeah, so I think really we need to come in,
So
well, we
I
as a
think
cultural
the
district.
initial thing is what I think we should do is really how can we work more together in promoting it, putting out the word. There's so many venues that we could do. We event for, like, as an example, when we host our Sister Cities Festival, we do a distribution to all the city employees.
Yeah.
But it's this, we drop to, so we print them, we take them to, so we have different things that we could do, to, like what you said, trying to break that barrier for people to come in. So it's getting all those things, it's how can we, what do you guys have, what are your offerings, and how can we merge them together, and how can we work together to be able to promote them? Because on our social medias, we have a lot of following. We bring, not all the time, but we sometimes bring influencers. It might be if we could probably put it part of that historical tour, put it part of Caminarte, where, they could come in and they do videos, reels, and help promote that. That's more in the long run, but working with you guys, who would be our point of contact and all that good stuff, and how can we work more together to help promote it and put it out there more?
Maybe we can do our homework and then just kind of regroup with you all and see
And
what,
if
how
I
far.
approach the educational institutions, because this is an opportunity for, public speaking for kids to learn to do that, and to talk about their city.
Well, there's communication degrees at both.
All of those
Well,
things.
yeah.
Can
Those
we get
people
a
are-
PSA? Can we get an actual PSA, the way y'all do the sister cities, like a video of a Caminarte, and maybe have that kind of run?
We
and-
could work with that, it would have to be created with our PIO department, so I guess don't know if that would be, I don't know if it's a motion or something, I don't know how that works, but it's basically trying to see, I know it's talking to Maria, cause we're the ones with the city. But it's trying to figure out how can we, which I don't think it's an issue.
Yeah,
I don't
it
think
just
that
needs to
should be
go
a
through the
problem.
proper channel.
But it's probably the easiest thing to do, at least the easiest and is if you already have a press release, you send it to us, we could send it to them. They could help us distribute to all the media outlets. Then from there, they could call you and say an interview, hey, I wanna do this, we're gonna do this, blah, blah, blah. And then probably after that, we could work with PAC
But,
and
but
do a
still,
little.
the TV stations have an obligation to run public service
Yeah.
announcements.
Yes.
But they don't have an obligation to film them for you.
Yeah.
Right, and that's why
So
I
that's
think,
what, that's what I'm saying, that I think probably the initiative is trying to see is how if PIO could send it for, on behalf of you guys, or kind of like
Yeah.
a partnership,
Yeah.
since they're part of a commission with the city. And so getting that work started and then probably getting, working with Noraida, cause she's the one that oversees the PAC, as see if we could do a video.
We're working on a segment for Telemundo for the history of, doing spots of historic
Okay.
places
Uh-huh,
in downtown. It'll be a weekly thing.
okay,
Yes, with Telemundo, Marisa Limon and
oh,
all
yeah,
that.
yeah,
So
mhm.
might be something that could work out.
And
Yeah.
at the center, we're working with KGNS to really do a lot of kind of publicity for this, but I just wanna see, getting us all on the
Yeah.
same page, you know,
Yeah.
cause I think it's really important that you
Yeah.
guys know what
And
it is
enlightening
that's
each
happening.
other.
Oh,
Right,
yeah, no, no,
right,
yeah.
you know, what we're
Yeah.
doing and. the
Yeah,
same thing
because
like-
we started that. and-
Right,
and
right.
so we,
And you should be proud of where.
Yeah,
it
no,
is
no,
now.
definitely,
That's why
yeah.
we revamped it, cause it was
Yeah,
such a
yeah.
great idea,
Yeah,
and it does.
Yeah.
Was there a logo for coming after back then?
I would have to look at our records,
I
cause I
don't
know,
think so.
I know we
Like, I
did.
feel like we.
Cause we
just
did,
don't need
yeah,
to
cause we
just-
had a map, and
Yeah.
we actually even bought like sandwich boards.
Yes,
And we
I
gave
know.
We
sandwich
still
boards.
have our
Yeah.
sandwich board.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
gave sandwich boards to a lot of locations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And after, cause we know that at one point the center was the one that was running it, and I think now it's you guys. But we could check our archives and see what we did.
Yeah,
And
it
if
was-
there was a map that we created, we could probably, it's easier to recreate it.
Yeah,
Right.
it was you guys
Yeah.
and then the center, and
Yes.
now it's, all of us, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. But I know we partnered with you, cause we've
Yeah,
done
yeah,
several
for
events there
sure.
that
The
that
city
were-
had basically had contracts, and they asked everyone to step up for a year and own up to
And
it.
we
Like
had
I said,
like-
we've hit 3 years, I think we've earned our
We had
Yeah.
like
No, and you guys are doing
meetings.
amazing, yeah, that's,
We
that's,
had meetings.
Yeah,
All of
yeah,
us, we
yeah.
get together and talk about what we were doing and
Mhm. Yeah.
what are we gonna do and what, blah, blah, how
So
we
maybe it's just
promote.
time to start that again.
Yeah.
It seems like, this
Yeah.
was great, that this
Yeah.
was
Um,
the first one.
What would be the possibility, because that's another thing that we have been talking
Uh-huh.
about, which I think is important. In a lot of cities, in Mexico, for example,
Uh-huh.
they have Sundays in which music is played and people can come to the plaza to dance or to walk around or,
Mhm.
and usually there's sales, people around it and so on.
Mhm.
What would be the possibility that the city would allow, for that to happen at the
Zaragoza.
plaza?
Yes.
At San Agustin
San
Plaza.
Agustin Plaza.
We already had done that in
Yeah.
conjunction with La Posada.
Yeah.
We made the San Agustin Arts Festival.
Mhm.
I have 2 T-shirts.
But maybe have it for every Caminarte.
Yeah, Steven, what was his name from La Posada, we put together this arts festival and it had to be people who made their own art. It couldn't be anything like, from the store, blah, blah. We did it, I forget how long, like
That was,
maybe a year.
yeah, that was at least a year more than
And
a year.
we had it
And the bu-
partitioned
yeah.
off or whatever,
Yeah.
so they could have drinks and I don't know what,
So,
yeah.
I think
Well-
it just sounds like we wanna bring a lot of
Yeah,
this
and
stuff back.
that's
and I
easy
think-
to do, if you're gonna close an area, you do have to get through the
Right.
traffic department, so there's a process and so,
But it wouldn't be closing anything, right? It would be like just at the center of the
Just
plaza.
understand.
yeah,
And for example, what Nuevo Laredo did to promote people to go out to plazas and enjoy them is they do Thursday at the plaza and they do tango or ballet folklorico and ballet folklorico comes and invites people to dance.
yeah,
And it happens every Thursday there at the plazas at 2.
yeah,
So maybe do it for Caminarte, just people to come and dance at the plaza.
yeah.
You
And
know,
then
and it
we
can
there's
be
some-
part of
have
the.
live music.
Yeah, we have live
that
music
too,
and that would be.
I
But how would that be funded? I mean,
And-
obviously, we're asking our artists to do a lot, we ask a lot of them for free, we ask for them to volunteer on many of these
Well,
nonprofits, so how do
the
we
thing
fund
is,
this?
if the artists are there at the plaza, they're selling their wares. So
Yeah.
that's their
In
incentive.
in Puerto
The musicians
Vallarta, in Puerto
and the
Vallarta,
things
what they
like
have is speakers and this jockey. And the plaza is like this,
Yeah.
everybody goes there.
It could be something as simple as that, yeah.
Yeah, and a disc jockey is not as expensive maybe as the whole group,
Well,
so.
like $300-400 for the night, you know, and
Yeah.
But who funds this? Again, we're funding our own individual
does this group
places.
have funding? Because I don't know.
Oh, the fine arts?
Yes,
Yes.
we do.
Yeah, but it's kinda complicated the way we can use the funds.
Yeah.
It's for public art, not
complicated
performance
to
art.
get any money.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's something the commission can help us explore,
Right.
But I
since
think-
since we're all on the same kind
But I
of-
think that would be good, probably getting to the third party, either the general funds through, or the,
But again, these are such open-ended things, it's hard, the justification.
yeah, but the general, when you.
The general fund, not
funds,
the-
you don't-
not the hotel
Yeah,
hotel.
you don't have to add that concept of heads and beds.
Okay,
The general fund, you don't.
we probably need to
Unless-
switch our thinking then
Yeah.
when we're looking at
And
that.
what if it were moving, it like one time it was at San Agustin
Yes.
and then another time it was at St. Peter's.
Yeah.
Yes.
And St. Peter's is a great plaza.
Oh, is it great?
And if you ask the city, what are you doing for Caminarte? Well, we are doing the dances at the plazas, you know?
Yeah.
And that would be a great, because if you ask right now, it's not.
Yeah, but everybody, and again, just, you know, the police cost,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to have security out there, and the city will, they'll let you have it there, but you need to pay the overtime for the cops.
Right.
And that's just that's the reality of the contract that the cops have with the city. You can't ask them to work for free, you know, all
Well,
that
there's
other
private-
stuff.
Can they just patrol that area very heavily?
Yeah, yeah, that's what you would want, that's what you would want,
There's private
but,
security companies like the PNC, the parking lot that's right there. They have, it's a private security company, and we have asked them, can you stay and we're having a party at the gallery, and then they negotiate the price with whoever's having the party, and we get those people to,
yes, yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
We
and
can't
then-
do that, we can't do that for city lots, so that it's,
No.
there's a
Well,
lot
I'm
of city
just
lots
saying,
too, I'm just,
yeah.
But I'm imagining
And
that
if
the
city-
number.
If the city is sponsoring it, then,
Yeah.
hello, then you all gotta work something, we all gotta work something where we co-sponsor with the city. We do one aspect of it, get the band, whatever, and then they provide
Provide to.
the.
But I'm imagining
porta
that
potties.
the number one port in the world for commerce here
Then
might
you have
have the
another-
money to do a
another-
dance on the plaza once a month, you know?
Yeah, but again, somebody gotta ask them.
Yeah.
Without that tone either, I mean, you know, they say, hey, we're working together
Okay,
with you.
just-
Not, hey, you're the number one port, you know?
Just
Watch
so you
this.
know, what the city of Laredo collects on the bridge, fees, it's enormous.
Yeah, and they should do it.
And they don't invest it in the betterment of the port in itself. It's port fees, right? It's the port. It doesn't come to anything like investing in making that, you know, World Trade Bridge or the downtown bridges. It doesn't get used for that as far as I know. But they do make a lot of money there, so.
Yeah. So at that
Just
point,
saying.
that's when you have the artists, who everybody's asking you to do it for free. So,
So
once
I
you
know
do
this-
that, you gotta pay the artists, because the only person that gets stiffed on this stuff are the artists.
Yeah.
Everyone, it's because you're exposing your art.
No.
You get-
but that's what,
That's-
that's what
Beatty-
that's
Beatty
what we're
said,
asking, we're asking
"Stop
the
doing
city.
that stuff."
Changing that.
But we're asking the city, where is the money? 'Cause I know like for some Caminarte and Picasso Ortiz, we get a lot of good funding from the county. They've been very supportive of us. When we went to the city many years ago when we started this, they basically said, we support you, here's our letter of support. But we won't fund you, we won't help you on that. So that's what we're coming back and saying, okay, now that we're unified, we're here, let's get creative and find some ways to help
Yeah.
fund these projects.
So
at
I know
local
the
level.
city has a lot of equipment, like they have sound systems and stuff like that.
But they wanna rent that stuff now.
Yeah, but if it's sponsored by,
The council person.
yeah,
Or the
which,
council, yeah.
yeah, all we would have to do is ask our councilwoman if she would co-sponsor.
Because council does events, right? The council members do events
Yes,
at parks
yes,
and
and
all
as
that.
long as it's
Yeah.
sponsored by them, they won't charge us a rental fee.
It could be the.
So it
council.
could be something like that where we already know coming out there, the second Saturday, the dates that they happen. These are the dates that we would love to be I mean,
Yeah.
just as an entryway to see what else is available.
The secret there is we have a theater magnet school, a music magnet school. When we did Yo-Yo Ma, everybody came together because the musical groups were not private, they were the schools.
Right.
They were the school orchestra, the band, people like that.
And
So
every school
it-
has
it-
an art department.
and they do, and they'll bus the kids down there, and then all the parents, and that's how that stuff works. Again, we're out there trying to put not young people on stage, whose parents aren't, you know,
There's
I
that.
haven't seen you since you were
It's a
20
different
years,
level.
you know. I wanna go hear somebody young, like Mika, grandchildren, somebody like that. But if you get the school district, those were what the concerts used to be down here. Down at VMT would do the concerts at St. Peter's.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay, that's when the people came down there because their children were up there.
right.
You know, when we have a parade, downtown is full. Why? Because they come see their kid. So the music may have to be that art may have to be the school art
But
at the beginning, or co-art or
Or
whatever.
poetry, or dance, or every school has a department.
They all have that stuff. There's folkloricos at both schools.
Every-
Well, we
you know,
have the
things like that.
Philharmonic there. Remember the house where
Yeah, the Philharmonic is an excellent,
it was packed? It was packed.
because they're partnering with TAMU, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Or LC, because I know that they had something.
No, come to you.
So
TAMU.
that's the way to pull those groups in.
And there's a choir now again, a choir reestablished, and the orchestra. so-
This Sunday.
And
Huh?
Yeah.
the school districts have fleets of school buses.
Yeah. There you go.
But again, they are limited to, we do, for the theater guild,
No.
they do the classroom on stage. It is difficult and costly for the school districts to fund the buses. They can, barely get the buses where they need to.
Yeah, but remember,
every
we're
day.
talking about
And they
dancing
ask-
at the plaza. We might not need a choir for it, right? We don't
No.
know you're gonna dance to a choir.
Yeah.
Big ideas.
But-
They're great ideas, but
Thanks
you
for
do
help-
need
thanks for
to, you need to
listening
get
to
the
us
other
and
public
collaborating.
entities involved.
Yeah.
Because they have investment in the city. You know, they always need a place to perform. And if you start, because TAMU and else, they have amazing resources.
Maybe TAMU has a bus?
It's called the Dust Devil
I think they
something.
do have a
Do they?
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Thank
know,
you for
I think
listening
I
to
think
us.
we
We
should
appreciate
propose
it.
an art bus.
I agree.
Yeah, I
do.
agree.
I
As
think
a
so too.
public art project,
Yeah.
the city.
Maybe our
does it.
consultant
It could be
already has all
painted
that
really
stuff
wild,
already.
like, you know, very crazy,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Huh?
Not that I
Maybe
know
a
of.
rap,
An art
maybe
bus.
rap.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
It
a
has
change,
to be
much
for,
like.
You go get an old school bus and they put
Traveling.
Yeah.
I want to look like the ones in Guatemala and Mexico. They used to look like a real chicken
Maybe
bus.
it can be like
Fun.
transformed every year by new artists.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes.
And have like,
Yeah,
And
and that's what we
context.
could do to rap. The artist can, yeah.
Hey, folks, I have a granddaughter playing basketball, so there's still 3 of you here, so you can keep on going.
Well, thank you for
So
listening
thank you
to
very
us. I'm
much.
sorry we
Yeah.
consumed so much of your time, but we really appreciate it.
Thank you very
No,
much.
And we'll
this
reach out to you all when we do a little bit of our homework here, so we can come back together and see.
these are important
Yeah.
conversations, they're not consuming
Yeah.
time.
Well, we want the commission to have a purpose too.
We want a
We
purpose.
want to be a purpose. Thank you again.
Absolutely working on that.
Yeah, we want things to improve for all of us.
working for Laredo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you all for being here.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Larry, for coming.
All right.
If you see a bus somewhere, just grab it.
We'll definitely work on that trolley.
Okay, cool.
I will.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you all.
Bye.
I tried so hard, I could see
We
you.
can hear you trying.
I
And your
muted-
attempts and your
I
fails.
muted everything and you could still hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
Oh,
we could
God.
hear you.
You're like, oh God.
No, well, one last thing, I don't know if one of the commission members would consider maybe, talking to their council member about recognizing Rosa Maria de Llano.
Yeah.
For
yes,
her
that's a
3
good
years of
idea.
service. That can be done either at the beginning of the meeting or right at the start.
Yeah, we should have planned for that for
I
this.
know.
She
I
was
know.
there.
No,
I know.
and I didn't want, I
Alright.
wanted somebody else to get appointed, so then she could be recognized.
Yeah,
Yes.
I did say she was there.
Yes, no,
She
she
did
was
get
there.
her and-
Thank you so much.
But, it would be a council item when, under recognition, so just, putting it out
Do
there.
we need to make a
I
motion
gotta
for
move
that?
over.
No, I think that if,
I don't know if I have an
have the
alley
city
here.
council
Okay.
recognize her as the first one that we had, yes.
Yeah, and I know the center's looking at doing something to recognize Raquel, in a different kind of a more.
Oh, yes,
yeah,
she's a painter.
Right, yeah,
Yes.
so we're looking at doing
She
something
has
like
great artwork. She's
I know.
Well, I'm blown away by her poetry.
her poetry,
Really.
her playwriting, her artwork, and all of it,
She used to have an incredible studio, but she doesn't live in that house anymore.
her style.
But
Yes.
I know.
So is there something else that we?
No, just the next meeting, is scheduled for the 18th. I was wondering if maybe you could move it to the 25th, if it's still, convenient to all of you. I will not be in
25.
town on the 18th.
I'll be out of town on the 25th.
The
I
20
need to, I think.
Okay, we
April-
can leave it at the 18th.
No, I'll be out of town in March, no,
No, March.
I'll be here.
Yeah,
I might be
Mrs.
able to
April.
join via WebEx,
Via
so
WebEx?
just, yeah, but
Okay.
I know I'll be out of town, but I'll join via WebEx, yeah.
Okay, is the 25th okay?
Is
Or
what?
I can have
Yeah.
Angie poll Mr. Lopez and.
Just pull all four of us?
All five of you.
Well, we did mention it to the whole group that they needed to, hello, we need your representative.
They do get the biannual reports twice where we report it, and then every Friday I do a report that we have vacancies in the different committees that I
Yeah.
have. So,
Yeah.
but hopefully.
And I told them, if
hopefully.
you need a recommendation, we
Yeah.
could recommend people.
Maybe we should just take that initiative and make it easier
I've
for
been
them.
asking around.
Yeah,
Huh?
I've got, yeah. I-
Like, if we have recommendations and we know who needs a representative, why don't we just reach out to them?
To the
say,
district.
oh,
All
you-
they can say is no.
Right,
Would you
right.
agree to this person to represent you on the Arts and Culture? Why not?
Right.
Maybe they don't know who to ask, you know?
True, true.
Maybe they're also trying to figure out what we do. Like we are.
Well, yeah, hopefully they'll get a better idea.
Yeah, the more we go before them, and I like the idea of going before them on a regular basis, even if it's, you know, they need to know that we're doing things. There's a
Yeah.
lot of money there. We have a lot of projects, and we want to use it. We don't
Oh, and
want
it was
to-
great because they moved us way up.
Yeah. And they were bombarded with.
And we were stressing out that we weren't gonna make it on time.
You were stressed.
I was very stressed out.
I was on the
traffic was
way,
horrible.
and I thought, oh, I'm not going over the overpass, because I was in the Heights. Because I saw this huge congestion on the overpass. So I said, Market Street. So I get off, I turn, I get to Market Street, huge
Stop.
line. So I go down all the one-way streets the wrong way to get to some place, to get in.
Hey, you can re-record it. You want to adjourn?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I only went one block.
Can we have a
on one
motion
way.
to adjourn?
Yes.
Second?
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
My,
All those
my,
in
my
favor?
long story.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Do I hear a second? Yeah, second.
Yeah.
This meeting is adjourned.